Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another video. So today's a big one. I think Star Wars have just set up the perfect circumstances for the return of a character I've been wanting to see for years. And you guys know, after Solo A Star Wars Story I thought she was going to appear in the Book of Boba Fett, but she didn't. They did a trilogy of comics which were fantastic, but I think Star Wars Outlaws, which just got the story trailer the other day, is the perfect place. And now thanks to an exclusive still from Game Informer, we have confirmation that Qi'ra is returning in this game. She is going to meet Kay Vess, and one of the major crime syndicates they have confirmed is going to be a big part of it is Crimson Dawn, the one she's in charge of at this time between the events of The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Now in just a moment we're going to talk about the exact period of time this takes place in and why it's so important. But I just want to clarify something. The female member of Crimson Dawn that we see in the trailer on Canto Bight is not Qi'ra herself. Some fans are making this mistake, but she's just a representative of the Dawn, not Qi'ra herself. If you understand Qi'ra's motives to get at the Sith, to stir up the Star Wars underworld, and really cause divisions, you understand why she would not make an appearance at the meeting of such dangerous crime bosses, and why she sent another member of the Dawn instead. But she does feature, my dear friends, at a different point in the story, probably near the end of the game at some point, probably someone who helps Kay Vess, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But something which really surprised me is the fact that although this is very exciting news, it does come with a major caveat. Emilia Clarke is not returning to voice Qi'ra. When I read this I was like, what is going on? Ubisoft put out a statement saying this: the team collaborated closely with Lucasfilm games to ensure the voice talent we worked with embodies the energy of Lady Qi'ra. We will share more about the cast at a later date. She is not voiced by Emilia Clarke. This is so disappointing and I'm really surprised, considering the various occasions Emilia said she wants to return to play the character, and they got someone else. I really wonder what happened there. And it also dawned on me, if you pardon the pun my dear friends, do you get it? Crimson Dawn dawned on me. We could see the return of Prince Shizor, another character who is canonized in the Disney comics. Now the reason I think this takes place near the end of the Qi'ra trilogy, I would say definitely after the middle installments Crimson Reign and before Hidden Empire, is because the first issue of the latter kind of references some of the events that take place in this game that we're seeing in the trailer, including one of the syndicates which was referenced in the first issue of Hidden Empire. Qi'ra was manipulating all of the cartels and syndicates, and really playing the Star Wars underworld for her own advantage. And so the comic starts with Palpatine informing the Hutts, the Pikes, Shizor, you are lied to. For months you have all been engaged in a pointless war against each other. You believed this was a method by which you could gain my favor, but it wasn't. All that fighting, all that expense, all that waste. It was because one of your number, who you do not see here today, wanted it so. Lady Qi'ra of Crimson Dawn. And one of the syndicate's Palpatine names is Zarek Besh, who we got our first proper look at in this new trailer, so it really is interconnecting. And another reason I think this takes place closer to the time of Return of the Jedi is because Han Solo has already made it to Jabba's palace. And if you guys remember in those comics, as well as War of the Bounty Hunters, a major part of those shenanigans was Boba Fett getting Han Solo to Tatooine after the events of Bespin in Episode 5, and Qi'ra intercepting. Having stolen Han Solo, she plotted to bring major galactic factions to her with Solo as the bait. Once the attack on the Executor ended, with the Empire and the Hutt clan in conflict, Qi'ra moved forward with her next plans to bring down the Sith. She failed, well, to an extent, but survived. Qi'ra later went into hiding, survived the Battle of Endor, but the rest of the galaxy assumed she died. We're not that far ahead in this game, but she could very well cross paths with Kay Vess during her time as the leader of Crimson Dawn. And considering Crimson Dawn's sneaky tactics to negotiate with other syndicates for their own advantage, it wouldn't be too surprising if she makes a late appearance trying to swindle Slyro, one of the galaxy's elite, a new crime boss on the scene who is using the Empire's focus on taking down the rebellion to his advantage. While the Emperor and his regime are too busy building a second Death Star and tracking down numerous partisans and rebels across the galaxy, Slyro and his new rich syndicate Zarek Besh are profiting in the shadows, threatening other crime bosses from his headquarters on Canto Bight. He warns them not to cross him. He's promising prosperous collaboration so long as he is in control, and to use the unsuspecting Empire's naivety to make millions. This isn't something they're preoccupied with just yet. Throughout this game, Kay Vess is going to come across each of these syndicates, and either have a good relationship with them or cross them, which is going to lead to trouble for both her and her companion Nyx. Kay crosses Slyro, and so she turns to the help of someone who many fans think is Kyle Katarn, but it's not, and Kay has to escape the bounty hunters that Slyro sends. A big part of the game is negotiation, but also being on the run from looming threats. And so I wonder, is there going to be some common ground, shared commonality that leads to Qi'ra bailing you out? So I think that's going to be a surprise we should keep an eye out for. I also just want to say I'm loving the exploration of Jabba's palace, and I also was taken aback by the massive crate dragon, similar to the one we saw in The Mandalorian Season 2. Some of the new worlds in this video game look absolutely immense, the lighting is fantastic, the creature design is awesome. I'm loving the mix of familiarity with brand new syndicates, new characters, but also some common ground which makes you think there could be some tie-in to the live-action content coming soon. Any survivors of this, I think, could play into Jon Favreau's movie The Mandalorian and Grogu, or other future seasons of New Republic shows. I've seen a lot of criticism for the character design of Kay Vess, and here's the thing, I think Kay Vess looks amazing, but I kind of wish they'd gone for a more original look with her outfit, just go all out. They've repeated the Jyn Erso trope, the same kind of jacket, the traditional smuggler look. Maybe going a very different route with this would have been more original, but I'm sure in the same way you could do for Cal Kestis in the Jedi games, you can customize Kay's outfit as you progress. And you know, on the subject of the familiar, I think it was a really nice touch to have sequel trilogy planets much earlier in the timeline like Kijimi, Cantonica, and just kind of give them a different association and more of a lived-in story to show what was going on those worlds decades before episodes 7, 8 and 9. What makes this open world game so unique is the fact the objective is to build a reputation. The way that you interact with others, the choices you make dictates the outcome. Are you going to make good allies, or are you going to be the target of some pretty nasty bounty hunters? In either case, I think the potential for this is really darn awesome, and aside from the characters I mentioned, I'm also hoping Boba Fett appears. And you guys know I love Boba Fett. He is without a doubt one of my favourite characters in the entire franchise. And so when you're talking about an underworld, Star Wars syndicates and crime bosses, he's kind of a no-brainer. And with the developers giving us a different angle on the journey from Cloud City to the Dune Sea, we might get a visual retelling of War of the Bounty Hunters. I'm sure the cutscenes in this game are certainly going to be a treat. It wouldn't be the same game without him. The developers kind of did their own breakdown video of this trailer, and it was fantastic to hear about the side mission opportunities. They've thought about the many ways this can go, the various outcomes and where it could lead. It is very much living up to its open world label. But what do you guys think? And how does the story trailer look? Are you impressed? Are you going to be picking up this game on August 30th? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. May the Force be with you, always.